about chicken. And since this is an ecumenical service, I want to be fair. I know we may have a few Protestants, a few Catholics, a few Jewish members, maybe a few Muslims, interfaith, ecumenical service. Now, when I'm on this phone, I wanted to be a minister. I wanted to preach the gospel. I felt like I'd been called as a little boy. Maybe I just wanted to get off of that phone. But as a little boy on the farm, it was my responsibility to take care of the chicken. And I became very good at raising chicken. Now here in South Carolina, I know you know something about raising chickens, don't you? Do you? Don't fool me. But don't play with me. But I had to take the fresh eggs, mark them with a pencil, place them under the setting hen, and wait for 3 long weeks for the little chicks to hatch. Some of you may be saying, now John Lewis, why do you mark the fresh eggs with a pencil before you place them under the setting hen? Well, from time to time, another hen will get on that same nest. And there will be some more eggs, and you have to be able to tell fresh eggs from the eggs that are already under the setting hen. Do you follow me? Oh, you don't follow me? I wish I had someone that will follow me. Yeah, those sitting here will sit there for 3 long weeks. You have to be very patient. At least patient for 3 long weeks for those little chicks to hatch. I would take these little chicks and put them in a box with a lantern. I'd take these little chicks and give them to another hen. Get some more fresh eggs and mark them with a pencil, place them under the setting hen, and encourage the setting hen to stay on the nest for another 3 weeks. I kept on fooling and cheating these setting hens, and when I look back on it, it was not the right thing to do. It was not the moral thing to do. It was not the most loving thing to do. It was not the most non-violent thing to do. It was not the most democratic thing to do. I was quite able to save $18.98 to order the most inexpensive incubator or hatchery from this robot store. Now, is any old enough to remember this is a robot camera? Yes. That big book? Big book? Heavy book? Some people call it the ordering book. Other people call it the wish book. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. But just keep on wishing. And as a little child, as I said, I wanted to be a minister. So from time to time, I get all of our little chickens together in the chicken yard. And my brothers and sisters and cousins would line the outside of the chicken yard. And I would start speaking and preaching. And when I look back on it, some of these chickens would bow their heads. Some of these chickens would shake their heads. They never quite said amen. But I'm convinced, Jim, that some of those chickens that I preached to in their 40s and their 50s tended to listen to me much better than some of our colleagues listen to us today. They produce eggs. That's enough of that. As a young child growing up in rural Alabama, we would visit Montgomery, visit Tuskegee, visit the little town of Troy. I saw those signs that said white men, white women, white women, colored women. No Saturday afternoon when you go downtown to this area, all of us little white children had to go upstairs to the doctor. Yes, sir. The little white children went downstairs. Yes, sir. I would come home and ask my mother, my father, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, why? And they would say, that's the way it is. Don't get in the way, don't get in trouble. Yeah. But one day, 15 years old in the 10th grade, I heard about Rosa Parks. Heard the word from Martin Luther King Jr. on our radio, and I was inspired to get in trouble. Good trouble, necessary trouble. So for more than 50 years, I've been getting in trouble. The legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. It's time for us as Americans to get in trouble. Good trouble, necessary trouble. Remember on one occasion Jesus said, "Think not that I come to bring peace, but a sword." He was not talking about a physical sword. He was talking about a spiritual sword. Whenever I come, a division set in, a struggle take place between the forces of good and the forces of evil, between the forces of heat and the forces of love. Whenever I come, a division set in between the forces of light and darkness. I think sometimes those of us in the faith community, we're too quiet. We're too silent. We need to make some noise. We need to speak up and speak out. So many of us that got involved in the civil rights movement came out of our religious belief. We studied before we went on any sit-in. The great religion of the world. We studied what Gandhi attempted to do in South Africa, what he accomplished in India. We studied Thoreau and civil disobedience. We studied what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was all about in my time. And we prepared ourselves. We were people of faith. It must be something where you can sit down at a lunch counter on a stool. You feel like you're anchored there. Someone would come up and spit on you, put a lighter cigarette out of your hand, pour hot water, hot coffee on you, and you're still anchored. Saying, ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. There's something there that tell you over and over again, don't give up. Don't give in. Don't give out. Don't become bitter. Keep your faith. Be hopeful. Be optimistic. Be of good courage. You know, my friend and brother Jim Clyde mentioned my first trip to this great state. I remember like it was yesterday. May 9th, 1961. The same year that President Barack Obama was born. My seatmate was a young white gentleman. The two of us got off at the Greyhound bus in Rock Hill. We were tight, beaten, left bloody. Local police official came up and said he was wanted to press charges. We said no. We come in love, in peace, with nonviolence. In February of 2009, one of the men that attacked me and beat me and left me bloody and unconscious came to my office and said, "Mr. Lewis, I beat you in 61. Will you accept my apology? Will you forgive me?" He came with his son. The son started crying. He started crying. I started crying. He hugged me. The son hugged me. I hugged him back. I've seen him 4 different times since then. He called me brother, and I called him brother. That is the power of faith. That is the power of love. hostile and never become so bitter, so hostile. I don't know what has happened in America today. What has happened to us? Can we sometimes just walk up to someone and say, excuse me, I'm sorry, will you forgive me? Sometimes I think some people in our society, they go to bed mean, they dream mean, and they just get up mean. One occasion, Dr. King said they just got to love the hell out of everybody. Just love. Love is a better way. It's a powerful instrument. It's a powerful tool.
Yes.
This man, Martin Luther King Jr., taught us to love. We said today that Abraham Lincoln freed the slave. And this year we commemorate the 150th anniversary of the Emancipation Proclamation and the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington. Maybe Lincoln freed the slave, but Martin Luther King Jr. liberated a nation. Liberated a people. This man never held an elected position. Just a lonely Baptist preacher. I was there on August 20, 1963, almost 50 years ago, when he turned those marble steps of the Lincoln Memorial into a modern-day pulpit. And sometimes Jim Clyburn, when they're flying out of Washington, I tell you, this is too much. You look down, you see the statue. You see the Lincoln Memorial. You see the Washington Monument. You see the Jefferson Memorial. And you keep looking. You see the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial. There must be a God somewhere. God is real. God is real. I know it. I'm a living witness for somebody who grew up poor, 6 brothers and 3 sisters, dead poor, preaching to chickens. And one day come under the influence of Martin Luther King Jr., who used the tools of Gandhi and the teaching of Jesus to liberate a nation. I feel blessed.